Well, we're going to have our first interview. He was the owner of Staffen Supermarkets for many years, and for those who have been here for some time know him very well. He's also one of the owners of our golf course and a successful, very successful businessman. But we've invited Rob Staffen on the show to talk about something entirely different. Here he is, Rob Staffen. There you go.
Turn it on.
There we go.
Hello,
Give you your
everybody.
own mic.
My own mic. That
Finally.
could be dangerous.
Okay, there was a day that changed your entire life. Tell us about it.
Yeah, so in October 22nd, 2012, I just happened to be riding my bike, which I love to do, in California at Joshua Tree National Park. But we had already done the mountain, but I thought maybe I should try and get down there faster. And I was doing over 70 kilometers an hour on my bike, and my bike stopped dead. The trouble with a bike stopping dead is you go flying. And I hit my head pretty darn good.
And you were pretty close to death, correct?
Well, I wouldn't call it death in the sense that what happens is you get knocked out, you're unconscious, and I call it La La Land. I was in La La Land for maybe a couple of weeks, and we can talk about that.
Yeah. So what are the steps for your road to recovery? You had to be flown to Canada specifically.
Yeah, so the first week or 10 days, I happened to be in Palm Springs at this beautiful hospital that I do not remember one moment of. And then the Canadian insurance company decided that they didn't want to pay American dollars to heal this guy. So they shipped me back private jet, but I don't remember a thing. So I got a private jet ride back to Hamilton, and then all of a sudden, lo and behold, I was in the Stratford General Hospital. And I think it was maybe day 3 or 4 where I actually opened up my eyes and said, hey, I know where I am. I'm in Stratford.
Okay, so how long did it take you to recover?
So after that week or so, what they had to do is they had to realize that I had a traumatic brain injury, a very serious one. I think on the scale of 10, they had me at 7 or 8. So they decided I need to be in London at the Parkwood Institute. They're famous for brain injuries, among other things. So fortunately for me, with the help of the wonderful people at that hospital, including Mary Helen Dale, she got me into Parkwood, and there I was for another 6 or 7 weeks, and every day seeing 6 therapists and physio to help me get better.
Okay, got a question, Don?
Well, sure. I mean, what does this change your outlook in life?
Well, your outlook in life is you actually realize I am one lucky son of a gun. So you actually take things more in the moment, more in I notice things even on my bike when I'm riding now. You just see really cool things like how great the farmers are and how much work they do and a change of seasons. You realize that giving back to community is the best thing you can do in your life, and you also realize that family and friends are truly what help you get better and get healthier. Without them, I wouldn't be here.
Now, I remember talking to you about 2 years ago, and I said, how are you? You said, well, I'm really not fully recovered yet. Are you fully recovered now?
Very good question. I guess if I asked my oldest daughter, Julia, she would say, well, that's a tough question because what she says is I'm Dad 2.0. So anybody who's a dad out there, I guess apparently we're 1.0 until we have a change in who we are, and then we become Dad 2.0. So my family did notice quite a change in some of my characteristics, so I'm called Dad 2.0.
Okay. So one of the things you've done is establish a foundation for head injuries. Tell us about that.
Okay, before we go there, I want Don to actually bring up a little card for me.
Guest duties.
I think, how many people out here have actually had a brain injury or somebody in their family has had a concussion, sports injury, or a brain injury? That's what I thought. Usually 60 to 70%, at least 50, have had a brain injury or a concussion. So this is what happens when you get in a concussion. So your brain shrinks, and what it does is there's damaged brain, so your electrons and all that crazy stuff that's going on like this isn't working, and then because you have a smaller brain, it's trying to connect you, but it's going in the danger zone. So pretend you broke your arm. You put a cast on it, you could whack that arm 10 times, it would still get better. With the brain, it's totally different. It doesn't get better at all. And that's why people with traumatic brain injuries really have a tough time if they don't slow their brain down. So looking at the next slide, this is the
Vanna White of the Front Porch
the
Show.
Vanna White.
Front porch show.
So what you need to do is you need to, we need the other slide first. This one. So what you need to do, so you've got a smaller brain. So what you need to do, and they actually call it a point system. So anybody who knows anything about Weight Watchers would understand the point system. Well, with the brain, what it does is you've got to track what you do every single day. So for example, tonight, I am using up 8 of my points. And when I was first out of the hospital, I only had 14 points. So this would be a hard thing to do, because then I really couldn't do anything else all day long and I have to go back to bed. So now, when you're in that safe zone, what you need to do is do less. So track what you do every day and then do less. And if you do that for 2 or 3 months, guess what happens? The last slide. So then what happens, all of a sudden, your safe zone gets better. You're actually healing your brain. So like I said, it's not like you broke your arm. It's totally different. So if I'm in this safe zone, I'm good and I get better. The trouble is, what happens with brain injuries is you all of a sudden think, oh my God, I'm doing great. And guess what? You do too much, you get in the danger zone, and you have mental health issues, you have depression, you have anxiety. So a lot of people that have brain injuries also suffer from mental health. So that's why keep it in the safe zone is the lesson I like to give to people I help.
Okay, so that last one tells you where you are. Are you even higher than that now?
Well, I'm in the safe zone, so I use 24 points a day. But every once in a while, I do kind of screw up. And when you have actually a brain injury, you know first thing in the morning. You wake up and you say, uh-oh. And I could fool you all. I definitely could. I could wake up, and I'd be what I call a little bit of brain fog. You aren't as quick, you aren't as sharp, and you're just a bit slower. But I can fool anybody, and I did it pretty good for a lot of years. But now, I'm in this safe zone where I use up about 24 to 26 points a day. As long as I do that, I'm good to go.
Okay, so you've established this foundation. Tell us about that.
Yeah, so what happened with me was I got into Parkwood because I really did a great job on my head. People that don't get into Parkwood don't have the chance to get better. So we created the foundation called the Brain and Mind Matters Community Foundation for people that are out there that didn't get in the hospital. So they're people that have brain injuries and they're people that have mental health issues that can't get in a hospital, and we fund a whole bunch of really cool stuff.
Okay, so you've got a bit of an announcement to make, I think, about the foundation.
Yes.
Can we have a drum roll, please?
Drum roll. So I have to get up for this, even though I'm not supposed to, I don't think, am I?
Well, does that use more of your points?
I might use more of my points. So we've sponsored a lot of cool things, including something at Little Falls School, including a little nest. We've sponsored outdoor parks for kids. We've sponsored mental health things. But the best thing we've done is sponsor the Parkwood Points program for helping patients get recovered from a brain injury. And I'm not supposed to announce this. Parkwood, if they find out and see the Front Porch Show, which they will, I'll be in deep doo-doo, but I really don't care. We sponsored this, and what it is it's an app to track your points. And it is called the My Brain Pacer app. And it will be out about the end of September for a lot of, especially young kids who need to concentrate on their app because they like, the stuff that us older guys, I do all mine on paper. But this app will help them control their points in a day and help them get better and get their brain in the safe zone.
So if somebody wants to give to your foundation, yes. Very good. Thank you. If somebody wants to give to your safe zone, to your foundation, what do they do?
Okay, so we created this foundation 5 years ago, and we now have total funds of well over $400,000, and we donate with our partner, Cowan Insurance, over $25,000 a year to local Perth County community projects for mental health and TBI. So how you donate is you can go online to the Stratford Perth Community Foundation, find our charity, and donate on their site, or on the St. Mary's Golf and Country Club, click on donate, and it will take you to the Brain and Mind Manners Community Foundation.
You still go cycling?
Oh, you shouldn't have asked this question because my wife Sharon's here. Yes, I do go cycling. I have done the Tour de France mountains. I've done the ones in Spain, and this year we're doing the Giro in Italy. And part of that is I'm a nut in the bike, but guess what? I go slower down the mountain. I'm limited to 40 kilometers per hour going downhill. That's my own goal, I guess.
Okay, you've got a few things here, Don.
Yeah, I see you've got some helmets, some pretty cool looking gear there, Rob. Have you got something in mind?
Well, what's really neat about our charity is one of the other things we sponsor with those beautiful guys over there wearing the big black outfit. We sponsor with the Stratford Police and the OPP a lot of bike rodeos for kids. Because parents that don't wear helmets, kids that don't wear helmets, if you get in an accident and not wearing this one like I wore, I could have probably lost my life if I wasn't wearing this helmet. So what we want to do is we've given out 228 helmets in the last 3 years, but we have 5 helmets to give away tonight. So, and I'll let John and Don, your hosts, find a way to give these helmets out.
Okay, we'll figure out something by the end of the show.
We'll have to
so
put our
hang
heads
around.
together on that one.
Oh. Heads together.
There you go.
Okay, Rob, thanks for coming into the show. Really appreciate it.
John, thanks for having me, and it's been a pleasure to be here.
Thank you, Rob.